The photo you're viewing was taken at a respectable Chinese restaurant in Oahu, Hawaii. This picture actually exists. I found it on my own vacation down in my tour of the island. The photograph has no date, no signature, and no trace of where it came from. The first thing you'll probably notice is the silhouette of the fisherman paddling an outrigger canoe in the focal point of the picture. And gradually, your eyes start to focus on the half-formed shadows of what appears to be 6 men standing, partially submerged underwater. No light reflects from their faces, despite the angle the light falls on either side, either the sea or the mountain in the background. Though you are unable to make out any emotion, you feel that they are all staring at the lone fisherman in the canoe. Other than these simple details, there is hardly anything unusual about the photo, and most simply pass it by thinking it's some bizarre artistic piece by an anonymous cameraman. There's only one thing that sheds light on this mysterious piece. There's a 200-year-old myth of a Chinese immigrant that came to work as a fisherman in 1834. He was avoided and seemed to cause trouble wherever he went. He was known as both a drunkard, a brawler, and an angry man, and he often got into bar fights with anyone he could find. Everyone dreaded his presence, or even the mention of his name, which is probably why it's near impossible to find it anymore. Regardless, there were times where he seemed polite. After a fight with someone he probably despised, he offered to straighten things up, and the two go fishing together the next morning. Almost every time, they would accept, as it would be very rude to say otherwise to such a modest approach, and their drunken state would cloud their better judgment. Early the following morning, while it was still dark, the two would descend into the ocean. Hours would pass as the damp fog of the sea would slowly burn into daybreak. The fisherman would always return alone, save for his boat, his equipment, and a hefty catch of shark. Upon every return, the people became more wary of him, but still would buy his shark, since his was the best catch of the day. One day, however, a curious young journalist followed the fisherman and set up his camera along the edge of the bay and snapped a quick picture just as the fisherman made his way out to sea. The fisherman did not return that day, or at all for that matter, and after some time, the people decided it was probably best to pretend he never existed. A handful of topographers have compared the photo to the map of the island, and have all agreed that the photograph was taken by the northern shores of the island, where the sharks infest the waters and the waves ride high. It is said that the best way to get a shark close is with the use of chum, a mixture of blood and meat. The fisherman never carried a bucket of chum on his way out to sea, and no one ever swims in those waters